Hi, my name is Rahul Srivastav and I once again welcome you all in our today's video. In today's video, we will be discussing upon the Charter of Demands. Now, what are these Charter of Demands? Friends, the wage revision of officers' fraternity in banking industry is due since 1st of November 2022 and the unions have submitted these Charter of Demands on 21st of October 2022 before IBA. So what are these Charter of Demands is what we are going to discuss in this video in very brief manner. So without any further delay, let us start our topic. Okay, so the Charter of Demands has been submitted by 4 unions collectively, which are IBOC, AIBOA, INBOC and NOBO. Right, now we'll be discussing upon what are the broad summary of charter demands. Starting with the first point. Now first point says that wage revision ऐसा होना चाहिए जिसमें कि risk, responsibility, accountability and transferability of officers should take into account. So in nutshell, the basic pay should commensurate with the central government officers, RBI officers and Life Insurance Corporation of India, which is abbreviated as LICI officers. As you all are aware that bank employees की जो सैलरी है उनसे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, आरबीआई और लिसी ऑफिसर्स की सैलरी काफ़ी अच्छी है. सो इस वेज रिवीजन में यूनियंस ने ये कहा है कि वी हैव टू द बेसिक पे शुड बी improved in such a manner that it should commensurate with all the salary of these employees. First point is this. Now second point is the date of calculation of quantum hike of ensuing settlement to be based on establishment expenditure as of 30th September 2022 as again present practice of 31st of March of the year of wage revision due. So एज जो प्रेजेंट प्रैक्टिस था 31st of March का उसको हटा करके नाउ दे हैव सजेस्टेड टू मेक इट ऑफ 30th September 2022 and as said earlier that basic pay needs to be improved upon, so the revision of improvement in pay scales should be done by merger of DA up to 1st of August 2022, right? Now next one, special allowance with DA as on 31st of September 2022, October 2022 to be merged with the existing basic pay. Next one, the revised DA formula with provision for automatic merger with basic pay and improvement in compensation against price rise should be done. Now, as you all are aware that stagnation increments plays a very important role of the officers. So this time the union has suggested and has presented in a very they have done the entire calculations and have suggested put in the charter of demands that all existing stagnation increments जो कि scale 5 तक लगता है should be converted to regular increment after 1 year from reaching, एक साल के बाद from reaching maximum of the present scales, maximum of the respective present scales. So जो stagnation increments हैं they should be converted to regular increments. कितने साल के बाद? तो आफ्टर 1 year फ्रॉम रीचिंग मैक्सिमम ऑफ द रेस्पेक्टिव प्रेजेंट स्केल्स. राइट, क्लियर? दिस शैल ऑल्सो रिमूव प्रेजेंट एनोमली इन फिटमेंट ऑन प्रमोशन. इससे क्या फायदा होगा? तो जो प्रेजेंट एनोमली है फिटमेंट ऑन प्रमोशन का वो भी इसकी वजह से दूर हो जाएगा. नेक्स्ट वन, डेट ऑफ सैंक्शन ऑफ एनुअल इंक्रीमेंट्स. जो एनुअल इंक्रीमेंट्स का डेट ऑफ सैंक्शन होता है शुड बी ऑन 1st January एंड 1st July एवरी ईयर. राइट. Next one, the present embargo in regards to the sanction of stagnation increment, automatic movement, increment in next higher scale and PQP in respect of those officers who have refused took reversion or opted out of promotion should be removed. The present policy of enforcing such embargo is against the natural justice and tantamount to imposition of major penalty. Right? Next one, upward revision of HRA which should commensurate with the market rent. Then self lease for officers to be introduced. Next one, which is nothing but 11 point, substantial increase of city compensatory allowance, which is abbreviated as CCA, and location allowance for non-CCA centers for all categories. Now learning allowance, as of now we get 660 rupees to be enhanced substantially. Now next point is closing allowance, which I guess we get as 250 rupees per quarter, to be enhanced and paid every quarter in view of the enhanced workload performed by officers, which they perform every quarter end, as it is an obligatory requirement to declare audited quarterly results. So the unions this time have suggested that closing allowance to be enhanced. Next one, improvement of lump sum amount as compensation on transfer and 2 months salary to compensate incidental expenses on transfer. राइट मैं फिर से पढ़ देता हूँ. जो लमसम इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ लमसम अमाउंट एज कंपनसेशन ऑन ट्रांसफ़र, जो ट्रांसफ़र होता है तो उसमें जो लमसम अमाउंट एज अ कंपनसेशन मिलता है, दैट शुड बी इम्प्रूव्ड और दैट शुड बी इम्प्रूव्ड अपॉन एंड 2 months सैलरी टू कंपनसेट इंसिडेंटल एक्सपेंसेस ऑन ट्रांसफ़र. और 2 months की सैलरी मिलनी चाहिए टू कंपनसेट इंसिडेंटल एक्सपेंसेस ऑन ट्रांसफ़र. जो इंसिडेंटल एक्सपेंसेस होते हैं ट्रांसफ़र पे, उसमें 2 months की सैलरी वी शुड बी गिवन, विच इज़ वेरी गुड पॉइंट. नेक्स्ट वन, इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ लमसम अमाउंट ऑन मिड एकेडमिक ट्रांसफ़र. जो मिड एकेडमिक में हमारे ट्रांसफ़र्स हो जाते हैं ऑफिसर्स फैटर्निटी की, उसमें लमसम अमाउंट में इम्प्रूवमेंट होनी चाहिए, विच शुड बी इक्विवेलेंट टू 3 months ग्रॉस सैलरी टू मीट द एजुकेशन एक्सपेंसेस ऑफ चिल्ड्रन ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ ट्रांसफ़र. और अगर मिड एकेडमिक में किसी की ट्रांसफ़र हो गई तो दे शुड बी गिवन दैट लमसम अमाउंट विच शुड बी इक्विवेलेंट टू 3 months की सैलरी, ग्रॉस सैलरी, to meet the educational expenses of children, right? Okay, next one, review and rationalization of halting, boarding, traveling expenses and hill area allowances, right? Next one, introduction of incentive for rural and other sensitive difficult areas. Okay, so this is very new point, means जो हमारे colleagues who are working in rural and other sensitive or difficult areas or the hardship areas, their incentive should be introduced. Now improvement in special area allowance, which you all know is already into place, so there should be an improvement in that, and special compensatory allowance for northeastern states like Jammu Kashmir, Himachal, Leh, Ladakh, Uttarakhand and red corridor or disturbed areas. तो 19 point says that the LFC, जो हमें LFC मिलती है उसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट होना चाहिए, एंड मोनेटाइजेशन ऑफ LFC होनी चाहिए. द एंटाइटलमेंट ऑफ मोड ऑफ ट्रैवल शुड बी मेड एज एयर ट्रैवल टू ऑल द ऑफिसर्स, एंड रिस्टोरेशन ऑफ LFC अब्रॉड विद डोमेस्टिक एंटाइटलमेंट. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, स्पेशल प्रोविजन फॉर वुमेन एम्प्लॉयज़. नो हमारे वुमेन कलीग्स के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है पढ़ना कि जो वुमेन एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं उनके लिए एक स्पेशल प्रोविज़न होनी चाहिए विथ रिगार्ड्स टू द प्लेसमेंट एंड पोस्टिंग्स. उनके प्लेसमेंट और पोस्टिंग से प्रोविजन ऑफ क्रैश फैसिलिटी एज पर गवर्नमेंट गाइडलाइंस, उनके लिए क्रैच की फैसिलिटी होनी चाहिए एज पर गवर्नमेंट गाइडलाइंस. फ्लेक्सी टाइमिंग्स होनी चाहिए, वर्क फ्रॉम होम का ऑप्शन आना चाहिए, चाइल्ड केयर लीव विथ सैलरी एज एप्लीकेबल इन सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. सो दिस पॉइंट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हमारे वुमेन कलीग्स के लिए चाइल्ड केयर लीव विद सैलरी एज एप्लीकेबल इन सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट होनी चाहिए. एज ऑफ नाउ उनको जो लीव मिलता है दैट इज ट्रीटेड एज पीरियड वेयर दे डू नॉट गेट द सैलरी. Right now, next one is very important for especially for the young generation bankers, which is introduction of 5-day work. Right now, next one is working hours for officers should be defined and regulated. So their working hours should be defined and regulated as per terms of the international labor norms. Right now, the next one says that the income criteria for dependents to be substantially increased. Right. The income criteria for dependents to be substantially increased, which I guess as of now is something around 10,000 rupees. I may be wrong. If I may be wrong, please correct me if I am wrong. Now next one says that the provident fund should be at the rate of 12% of the total salary and allowances. The PF should be, so very important point, the PF should be 12% of the total salary and allowances. Right? Now, next one is the gratuity should be paid at the rate of 1 month salary and allowances without any ceiling. Gratuity as per the regulation should be improved upon. Now, next one is rollback to the existing pension scheme to all those who are in NPS. Now, this is also a very important point which says that the existing pension scheme should be rolled back, which is NPS, and the old pension scheme should be immediately started with. Now, next one is pension to be extended to pension optees on resignation also. So as of now, those who are resigning, they are not getting that pension option. So pension to be extended to pension optees on resignation also. Updation of pension in line of central government and the principle of one rank, one pension. Now next one, encashment of entire leave at credit should be permitted on resignation. Improvement in all leaves facility, introduction of concept of leave bank, etc. Rollback of IDA medical insurance for serving officers and retirees, and implementing the provision of the policy at individual bank level. Now this is basically because lot of claims are being rejected by the TPA, third party people, and because of that unions have made a detailed study and they are now saying that it should be rolled back and policy at individual bank level should be implemented, which is very good point. Next one is uniformity of loan and advances to officers by adoption of best of the policies. The road tax on vehicles should be paid by the banks on interstate transfers. This is also very important point. The road tax जो हमारे vehicles पे लगते हैं, that should be paid by the banks and not by the employees of their banks on interstate transfers. Review of disciplinary rules procedures, allowing personal hearing of charge sheeted officer in case of major penalty proceedings accompanied by defense representative. ओके सो उनका कहना है कि जो डिसिप्लिनरी रूल्स एंड प्रोसीजर्स हैं उनका एक रिव्यू होनी चाहिए, एंड जो पर्सनल हियरिंग ऑफ चार्ज शीटेड एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, ऑफिसर्स हैं, इन केस ऑफ मेजर पेनाल्टी उनके लिए पर्सनल हियरिंग होनी चाहिए जिनके अगेंस्ट में मेजर कुछ पेनाल्टीज आई हैं, जिनको कि एक डिफेंस रिप्रेजेंटेटिव एकम्पनी करना चाहिए. नाउ क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ लैप्सेस इनटू मेजर एंड माइनर पेनाल्टीज, इनकी क्लासिफिकेशन होनी चाहिए. Keeping in view the principles of ex post facto in our legal framework, clarification be issued to banks that any alleged lapse committed by an employee while working in the capacity as workman, but alleged lapse detected when employee is an officer, he should be tried under bipartite rules and not under officers D&A regulation. You got my point? This is very important, that they should be tried under bipartite rules and not under officers D&A regulations. Next one, full legal expenses to be borne by banks on legal cases against any officer. जो भी legal cases होता है किसी officer के against में, तो उसका full legal expenses banks के द्वारा borne होने चाहिए. बोथ सर्विंग एंड रिटायर्ड, जो सर्व कर रहे हैं बैंक में एंड जो रिटायर्स हैं, दोनों के लिए, फॉर ऑल केसेस रिलेटिंग टू बैंकिंग वर्क एक्सेप्ट चार्जेस ऑफ फ्रॉड परप्यूटेड बाय द ऑफिसर. सिर्फ फ्रॉड छोड़ करके बाकी सारे चार्जेस शुड बी बोर्न बाय द बैंक्स इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ वेदर दे आर रिटायरीज और दे आर सर्विंग इन द बैंक. Now, next one, present ceiling of 3% of net profit for welfare to be increased to 5% of operating profit without any ceiling for staff welfare activities. Right? Categorization of branches to be done uniformly for all banks by IBA and Reserve Bank of India, which was, I would like to say, uniform up till 2000 year. Up till 2000 year. Okay? Next one, massive recruitment of officers, clerical, subordinate staffs and security guards is required, which is again a very important point. And last but not the least, appointment of compassionate grounds to be completed within 6 months period. It should be completed maximum within 6 months period. So these are some of the very important points which we have discussed in brief. In my next videos, I'll be coming upon the detailed overview of all these points to make the concept very clear, because as a banker we should know what are our charter of demands, what are our rights, and ultimately by knowing all these things our knowledge will improve, which will ultimately help in our day-to-day banking as well. So thank you so much for watching the video patiently. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to share the video, and please share in other groups as well. So thank you once again for watching the video. Thank you.